This is a democratic process. It's inbuilt in our constitution. In our constitution, if people aren't aware, we have an obligation, if in opposition, to open the position up for a period for a year. And on this occasion, the leader of the party has decided to call it as quickly as possible. And I'm offering myself. So this isn't a challenge as such. I'm simply offering my name and putting my hat in the ring.
It can be a bit awkward sometimes. Is there bad blood between you now that you're contesting it? And do you think that the person who doesn't make it would be able to stay on in the party?
Well, I hope there won't be personal bad blood. This is, as I said before, a democratic process. I think we are both mature politicians. And what we are doing is, he has indicated that he wishes to continue. I say that an individual who hasn't managed to take the party to government now on 2 occasions, and previous to that, he was the leader of a different party, the PDP, for another 2, ought to take certain steps, in my humble opinion. And I think now is the time to change. Now is the time to have a refreshed approach and to engage with people, not just the electorate, which are crucially important in all of this, but also with the members as well, and to have a renewal internally, which will then be seen by everybody, so that we have an enthusiastic party that will be led by somebody who the people will have the confidence in to be the next chief minister.
The leader has decided that the election should be now. You had 12 months. Good time to do it after an election. Gives you time to sort of restock.
Well, that is a matter for his judgment. It is set out in the Constitution. He is the one who needed to call it. In the last occasion, if you recall, after the 2019 elections, when, in fact, I succeeded in topping the poll of my party, he called the election for January 2020. I decided in that occasion not to stand because I thought it was going to be a divisive process at that stage, and to give the leader at the time, Keith Asobardi, the opportunity to, he had only been a leader for 2 years, the opportunity to set out his stall and to persuade the electorate for the next election to govern. He has not done so, and I think now is the opportunity for others, in this case myself and anybody else who thinks has a contribution to make in this position, to offer themselves, and that's what I'm doing.
What do you think you bring to the table that he doesn't?
I think people who know me know that I'm a very approachable person, individual. I am very empathetic. I am somebody who I think has a certain degree of emotional intelligence. As I said, I'm approachable. I'm somebody who will go to events and will speak to people, and I feel that I have a feel of what the electorate wants and needs, and that's something which I think may have been somewhat lacking in previous years.
What would you say to people who would say that the GSD would change under your leadership, that your politics are a lot more conservative than Keith Asobardi's, that he's a lot more progressive?
I think that is correct to an extent. We've made no secret about that, but the beauty of that is that the GSD is a broad church party. So the manifesto with which I proudly stood in the last election, which was only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, stated that we would not change certain things. In other words, that we would respect the decision of the people in the referendum, for example, in relation to abortion, where I took a stance, but that will be respected, and in relation to other gains which have been made in respect of same-sex marriage and issues like that. I am more conservative in my views, but I've held those views for a long time, and I've respected those who have different views. And I think that is the essential point here, that we are sufficiently broad church, that I am sufficiently a libertarian in that sense to respect other people's views and go along with what the majority says.
So people would not have to fear that you're too perhaps right-wing?
No, not at all. That's something which is being peddled by my opponents for their own gain. That is nothing that they should fear about. Again, this is the party of which I am proud, and a party which is sufficiently encompassing of different views, and I would be leading that, and I will be cognizant and take on board those who have a different view to me.